G'day, I'm Mark Latham. In politics we hear a lot of talk about the rule of law. Well, what does that mean? It means that we have one set of laws in Australia applying equally to all citizens. We don't have a second set of laws based on religion. Well, we know that's under threat. That Western tradition is under threat through the introduction of sharia law. Here at Rebel Australia, we've been campaigning against the sharia law curtain at the Auburn swimming pool in Western Sydney. We've protested about the advocacy of sharia law at the Sydney University Law School, and now there's another threat. Australia's outgoing Human Rights Commissioner, Gillian Triggs, has said she'd like to see sharia law courts in Australia. How worrying is that? Someone supposedly worried about human rights in Australia is saying sharia law is fine in the court system. Well, what about the human rights of women? We see in Saudi Arabia, for instance, under sharia law, women can't even make decisions about their own lives. They can't even drive a car. What about the human rights of gays? In some of these Islamic countries under sharia law, they're tossed off buildings. No human rights for gays and women and other so-called minorities under sharia law. Now, the problem here, of course, is that Gillian Triggs is part of the narrative talking about white male privilege. According to her and the other lunatics on the left, any group that complains about so-called white male privilege can have whatever it likes in the legal system. So if she's heard a few Muslims complaining about white male privilege, saying they're oppressed, she ticks off sharia law. She's done that as part of an interview in promoting Labor halal Senator Sam Dastyari's book, One Halal of a Story. Here's the publicity, here's the shameful comment advocating sharia law courts in Australia. And it's just plain wrong. We've got to stand up for the rule of law and the fair treatment of all citizens. No second legal system in Australia established by left-wing fanatics. Now, of course, anyone who complains about this, they're attacked by the left as well. As part of that book launch by Labor halal Senator Sam Dastyari, here's what he had to say about Pauline Hanson.
Pauline Hanson's a fascist. She's a fascist. She's not a Nazi. Nazi's not a Nazi. But she's a fascist. That's fascist policy. Fascist.
Anyone standing up against sharia law is derided as a fascist, as a Hitler, as a Mussolini. This is the language of the left with their own identity politics in Australia today. Now it's shameful. Sam Dastyari and Gillian Triggs, the true form of fascism is sharia law, the stuff that you're advocating. The true form of fascism is to have state-sanctioned separate courts according to religious law, to have governments approving the mistreatment and discrimination against women and gays and others under the teachings of the Quran. That's the true form of fascism they're trying to introduce. So, inevitably, as ever with the left, the thing that they condemn is the thing that they become. The thing that they condemn is the thing that they become. Now, it's just plain wrong. We'll continue to fight against this here at Rebel Australia and Mark Latham's Outsiders. Stand with us in that fight. It's all important for our democracy, for our Australian tradition of treating people equally and fairly. I'm Mark Latham for Rebel Australia. And if you like that video, please share it with all your friends on social media. And also remember the all-important Rebel Media campaign, standwiththerebel.com. Standwiththerebel.com.